Hi and welcome to Backyard Growing SA. In today's video, I'll be showing you 8 vegetables you can start in February. Let's get to it. So first up is bush beans. Bush beans like to be planted about 3 to 5 centimeters deep, and your soil need to be a little bit warm. So not too cold, like this been sitting in the sun about like 2-3 days the soil with us, and it's quite hot in Cape Town now, so yeah, so it's fine. So I'm going to be burying it about 2 centimeters in the soil because the mulch is about 2 centimeters deep already, so that's 4 centimeters, so that's going to be fine. And also, as you can see, you want to keep your soil wet but not soaking. So this is fine, like if you squeeze it, no water will come out, so that's fine like that. And they will take about 5 to 10 days to germinate in warm weather, and it is now summer still, so they will germinate maybe even faster. And in about 10 to 15 days after germination, you will have something like this. You can start harvesting beans in about 50 to 60 days when the pods are firm but still tender, and when that's right, I will make a video of that when they're ready to harvest. But harvesting time does start once the plant germinate, so it's not going to take 60 to 50 days for the pod to form. So yeah, once it germinates, you can count from that day. Also, once the pods form, you do want to constantly harvest them as quick as you can so that they can produce more pods. And also, as you can see, you don't really need trellis for your bush beans. That's why it's called bush beans, because it grows in a bush. But you can put stakes in the ground and then tie them up if you like, but I'm not doing that. And as you can see, they're not falling over or anything, unlike runner beans and climber beans, like for example the one I have over here. So this one does need a trellis to go up. And yeah, let's move on to the next. Okay, so let's plant some carrots now. Before I plant this, let me just tell you about the soil. So with the soil, you want it to be a bit airy and light. As you can see, it's not heavy. And you don't want too much sticks and stones in there, as it's going to hinder the carrots from growing straight down, and then it's going to split them and they might not grow as big as you'd like them to grow. So with carrots, you want to bury them half a centimeter to a centimeter deep. So I'm just going to sprinkle them on top over here. But you can, if you have a bigger garden, I'm growing containers, you can spread them out in lines and space them out already. So now I'm just going to throw like the half a centimeter of cocoa pea on top of here now. So it's going to take 14 to 21 days for your carrots to germinate. And in that 14 to 21 days, you do not want them to see sunlight at all, because the soil needs to stay moist for the entire 14 to 21 days. And then once they germinate, you can take the cover off. I'm just going to put a piece of cardboard in here. I just need to cut it out and it can fit nice in there. And once the carrots is still growing and germinating, you can thin them out if you like, but I leave them in until they grow a bit bigger, and then I will rather harvest smaller carrots than wasting all that. Like for example, this two over here, I know it's a bit bigger than what I'm speaking about, but I will take this one out over here because it is smaller, as you can see. Then this one here, and I'll let this one grow a bit more before I harvest it. And it will take about 70 to 90 days before you can harvest your carrots, depending on which type of carrot you are also planting. And also, like you can see, this one over here, I'll be harvesting because it looks nice and big and it popped out nicely. It might not be as long as I want it to be, but they do look fresh. And as I say, that it's probably smaller than the one I pulled out earlier. Oh, it's about the same size because it is thicker. And one is a bit smaller because it was growing next to another carrot. This one was on its own. Yeah, and you can see the taproot over here. This is how long it would grow if I left it a bit longer in. So I'm going to be harvesting this one as well because I have less for carrots, and I'm pretty sure my budgies and the quails also want some carrots. There you can see it's nice and big, but it is still shorter, but it's fine. Still got more carrots in here and in the other bucket there, and the ones are planted now. So on to the next. With celery, you want to sow the seeds about 1/2 centimeter deep, the same like with carrots, but you don't want to cover it that heavy. Also, so you're going to need some cocoa pea to put on top. So the seeds will take about 14 to 21 days to germinate. And you want to keep the soil constantly moist, and you want to grow it in more of a compost than potting soil. And when I say you want to keep them moist, I don't mean just when you germinating, I mean through his whole lifetime, because they do love being moist all the time, because water helps them grow much bigger and better, the same like with cucumbers or lettuce. And then celery will be ready to harvest in about 120 to 140 days, when the stalks like this is nice and thick and crisp. But for me and my budgies, they love this, so I just trim, like with lettuce, I will just trim around them, leave the center in, and it will continuously grow. And also you can use it in soups and eat it, so because it is the same. It's just once they grow big and that, you can just pull the whole plant out. But with this one, it's like the come and cut again method. Lettuce grows quickly and loves cooler weather, and they like to be buried about 1/2 centimeter deep. So I'm just gonna sprinkle them on top over here. So lettuce usually take about 3 to 7 days to germinate. Sometimes I don't even cover them up, I will just water them, but for them just to stay down, just in case there is a wind and it might blow the seeds away, I just sprinkle lightly on top of them. And then obviously I'm going to put some water on top. So now I'm just going to spray water on top of here so that I can keep the seeds down. You want to keep the soil moist, but you don't want extreme heat. So try to get the seeds in a place where there's sunlight but not direct sun. And the ones what I am growing right now is baby leaves. So this you can harvest in 25 to 30 days from the day they germinate. Or if you want the whole head, you're going to have to wait 45 to 60 days. But it is best to do the cut and come again method for all of this. It's much better because you don't have to eat a whole head of lettuce in one day. And then also you don't have to put it in the fridge, so it will always be, nature is the fridge for your lettuce. Beetroot. So with beetroot, if you are directly sowing into the ground or in containers and you can't soak them in the container, and obviously you can't soak them in the ground, you do want to soak them in water overnight and then plant them the next day. But I'm going to be planting them in trays, so I can plant them directly into the trays because I will soak this overnight and just leave it in a bucket. With beetroot, you want to bury them 2 to 3 centimeters deep. So this is the pot. So I put about 4 seeds in each one here. So in each pot over here, there's about 3 to 4 seeds, and that is how the seeds look. That's why when you plant in your beetroot or your Swiss chard, you always see about 2 to 4 plants coming out, and then you think, what is it? It's because in each pot, about 3 to 4 seeds. And that is how small the seeds are. So I'm just going to be planting them in here so they don't go to waste. And they'll germinate in about 5 to 10 days. And that is why you want to thin out of your beetroot as well. So when they're growing, you can pull a few out just to help the others. So you can leave about 1 or 2 seedlings in the ground and pull the others out. If you like to harvest baby beets, it will take about 40 to 50 days. And if you want a full size of beetroot, it will take 60 to 80 days. Cabbage. Cabbage like to be buried 1 centimeter deep into trays or directly sowing them. But I do prefer sowing them into trays, because if you directly sow them, it's gonna be a little hard to space them out, because sometimes, you know, wind blows and things happen in the garden. So cabbage is going to take about 5 to 10 days to germinate. So I'm just gonna be planting 1 each over here. I'm just gonna bury them. So once the seedlings are strong, space them out well so the heads can grow nice and big. Also, you want to water them regularly and keep pests away. So how you can keep pests away is obviously by keeping them watered so they're healthy. Don't overwater or underwater, that can also affect them to get pests. And also what you can do, you can buy a net, like a mosquito net, and just throw it over the plant, and then cabbage will be ready to harvest in 80 to 120 days when the head is nice and firm. Cauliflower loves cool weather, so what you're going to do is when you're germinating them, get them in sunlight, not direct sun. You want to plant them into seed trays or directly sow them. They like to be buried 1 centimeter deep, and they will normally take about 5 to 12 days to germinate. So transplant when the plants are much stronger and a little bit bigger, and then you can give them nice spacing and keep them moist as well. Harvest cauliflower in about 90 to 120 days. Kale. So kale like to be buried 1 centimeter deep, and they are quite fast growing plant. Kale will take about 5 to 10 days to germinate. So kale, you want to keep the soil nice and moist, and they do very good in full sun when you germinate them and grow them. But they can also do well in semi-shade, but it is much better for full sun. So as it's growing, the baby leaves you can harvest in about 25 to 30 days. And if you do want the full leaves, the full on kale, it will take 50 to 70 days. And when you do harvest, you pick out the outer leaves and leave the center leaves to continuously grow, and you can keep one plant for about 2 years if you look right after it. So on that note, I'd like to say thank you for watching. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. If you liked what you saw, leave a like, comment down what you want to see next, if there is anything you want to see next. And if you need help with anything and I can help you, I will comment back. And if you like to support the channel, like I said, comment, subscribe, like the video, and there is super thanks, and there's also becoming members. Thank you for watching. Backyard out.